At the Monte Carlo Grand Prix in 1988, Ayrton Senna drove one of the greatest qualifying laps in F1 history. His lap was 1.4 seconds faster than second place, his teammate who was driving the same car. I suddenly realized that I was no longer driving it consciously. I was kind of driving it by instinct only. And I was driving in a different dimension, for me, where I was like in a tunnel. I had nothing other than going a bit more and more and more, and I was surely over the limit, but still able to go even more. And suddenly something just kicked me and I kind of woke up. Immediately my reaction was to back off, slow down, and drive back slowly to the pits, and I didn't want to go out any more that day. The interviewer asks, "It frightened you a little bit, that experience?" Senna agrees. Yes, because I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding. When you look at analyses of this event, people most often describe flow states, but to me it's something much deeper. Senna wasn't just piloting his car that day, he was becoming one with it. That flash of lightning out on the racetrack wasn't man and a machine, but a new being composed of both flesh and carbon fiber. In that moment, Senna became a cyborg. And this isn't reserved for masters of their tools. You, yes you, the viewer, do it every day. And if you stay unaware of it, someday you may realize you've become something barely even human. Every time you interact with a sufficiently complicated tool, it becomes a part of your body. Not literally, of course, you can put it down, but you are extended through that tool until you disengage with it. Think about using a hammer. In effect, it's an extension of your arm. It's a brutally hard fist made of steel, multiplying the effective force by compressing it into an inflexible point. Imagine bashing nails in with your hand. Not fun. When you drive a car, like Senna, you don't think about turning the steering wheel. You command it without a second thought, so much so you can zone out and still arrive safe at your destination. The car becomes a part of your locomotion, an extension of your legs, commanded through your limbs to the degree that you and the car are indistinguishable. Our language implicitly reflects this. You don't turn the car left, you turn left. Your car doesn't get hit by another car, you get hit by another car. On the computer playing a video game, you are the character. You experience the world through their eyes, interpreting totally artificial sense data into a coherent world model that can be reacted to and acted on. One way to totally prove this is to examine your memories. Reach back to a memorable gaming moment and you'll discover you don't remember the controller or the keyboard. You were there, mentally. As you're watching this video right now, you're not seeing the screen. You're looking through it at this cat I put on it. You're not looking at the computer monitor or a phone screen that displays an image of the cat. You're looking at the cat. Acknowledging this little reframe completely changes how we should interpret technology and its effect on man. And this perspective isn't new. All the way back in 1964, Marshall McLuhan said, "The effects of technology do not occur at the level of opinions or concepts, but alter the sense ratios or patterns of perception steadily and without any resistance." Looking through the screen at what's on it is the perfect distilled example. But is altering our sense ratios and patterns of perception enhancing our humanness? I don't think so. Once you start to look at everything this way, things entirely change. The hammer makes a superpowered arm. The car makes a set of superpowered legs. The phone or computer screen is closer to astral projection than it is a grid of LEDs displaying video packet data. And because of this, it is accurate to call us all cyborgs. For most of us, our phone is strapped to our person. If you leave your phone at home, there's a phantom sensation in your pocket. It feels like you've lost a limb. Now, the phone isn't literally attached to you, but it is so ingrained in your mental habits and behavior that to go without it is like losing a sense. All this is to say that the border of our body is much more porous and fluid than we'd like to believe. There isn't a clean ending that stops at the skin and the retinas, but leaps out into the tools we use to enhance our senses and capacities. How human are you when you've taken these machines into your borders? But here's where things get weird. Yes, this is where we start to get weird. This isn't a one-way street. These tools and technologies act upon you. I'm a YouTuber. I interact with YouTube, the technology, the system, the algorithm, every day. I use it as a tool to generate views, audience interaction, and money. In order for me to use this tool for that desired output, I need to optimize my use of it. The same way you have to learn to use a hammer, you can't hold it by the head and drive nails with the handle, I have to learn YouTube. How I can do this is by learning not just how to make better videos, but how to make better videos that do better on YouTube. That means gripping titles, shocking thumbnails, hooks, rehooks, engagement tricks like quick cuts, sound effects, and the like. Ultimately, these are things I wouldn't otherwise do. Despite it being entirely my will, my videos, the system inevitably shapes my behavior. In this way, the YouTube algorithm reaches into me. If you consider the same extension, then I am a tool that YouTube is using for its purposes, that being generating advertising revenue and user engagement. I am doing the work that the algorithm can't do itself. I am the algorithm's brain. I am the algorithm's hands. When you think of this system in totality, with millions of YouTubers uploading videos every day, YouTube itself is a million-limbed beast, a creature of pure engagement, its body stretched across every country in the world with its hands in every pot. How human are my decisions when I'm servicing this beast? This is an example of using a very complicated system as a tool, but here's one that's much more concrete and more dangerous. You may have heard the Marines' rifle creed.
Pray! This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
But the movie doesn't show it in full. Here's verse 5. My rifle is human, even as I, because it is my life. Thus I will learn it as a brother. I will learn its weaknesses, its strength, its parts, its accessories, its sights, and its barrel. I will ever guard it against the ravages of weather and damage, as I will ever guard my legs, my arms, my eyes, and my heart against damage. I will keep my rifle clean and ready. We will become a part of each other. This is an explicit promise to become a cyborg, to attain that same state that Senna was frightened of. We will become a part of each other. A man with a gun is a man using a tool for his purposes. A man and a gun melded together into one organism is a unit of killing, of destruction, a tool in of itself for the use of higher command. If a man's hands are connected to the handguard and the trigger, he can't use them to signal, to communicate, to help. He can only use his new metal organ to bash or shoot. And this is still this idea's most basic form. It's one man uniting with a more or less complex machine, be it a car, a rifle, or a YouTube channel. What about multiple men? Or multiple machines? The B17 Flying Fortress dropped more bombs than any other plane in World War II. The pilot training manual describes the duties of the plane's commander as such. Your assignment to the B-17 airplane means that you are no longer just a pilot. You are now an airplane commander, charged with all the duties and responsibilities of a command post. You are now flying a 10-man weapon. The weapon cannot function without its parts. In this case, as much as the parts are the wing, the propeller, the cockpit, the bomb, the parts are also the navigator, the engineer, the bombardier. The brain of this weapon, this unit, this organism, is distributed. The pilots control the motor function of the body, but the navigator directs the pilot as the brain directs the central nervous system. The bombardier receives information from the brain and takes over much as instinct does when it's time to strike, when he serves as both the brain and the arm, precisely throwing munitions. The pilots and navigator are a team of eyes, while the radio operator is the mouth and ears. The engineer is the immune system, and the gunners are the limbs. Instead of one man molded to one gun, this is 10 men molded to one plane, one body, one giant unit capable of delivering thousands of rounds and 2.4 tons of bombs to the enemy. This organism is more than human, composed of multiple humans, wherein each man loses his individual agency to the service of the whole. This same framework can be applied to all sorts of multi-man machine systems with coagulated cognition, be they planes, submarines, tanks, organizations, companies, bureaucracies, or governments. Consider the term body politic. It explicitly considers the nation as one body, one person. In terms of war, it's easy to consider a nation itself wounded. An invading army penetrates a nation's skin, its border, and the whole organism comes under risk. This body may be closer to amoeba than human, but perhaps that just signals higher possibilities of organization yet to develop. We have a cultural presupposition that considers the individual the base unit of society, but under this lens, we have to consider whether we should start larger, or maybe even smaller. Is it more apt to consider the recent chaos of politics the actions of individuals with individual wills, or have the base unit be organizations like corporations, political parties, NGOs, and departments? Is the Earth populated by men, corporations, governments, or animal tissues, cells, and their components? Regardless of all this existentialism, though, from the perspective of the individual, these systems and technologies are additions to the body, as much as the body becomes an extension of the machine. But most recently, the world has been obsessed with a technology that works differently, one which reaches into the most intimate part of the body, the mind. And this is where you could stop being human at all. What AI does in practice is it outsources cognition. A chatbot does word tasks for you, whether it's research or drafting. It's obviously different depending on degree, but it's directing your thoughts at minimum. That's outsourced critical thinking. An AI agent can code for you, and no matter the level of specificity of your prompt, it's inherently making some design choices for you. That's the value of it. That's outsourced analytic thinking. AI images and video create a representation of anything you can type, no matter how gaudy. That's outsourced creative thinking. You're allowing it into your imagination. AI is a new type of tool altogether. A hammer changes your hand, a car changes your legs, a chatbot changes your mind. This is the most intimate part of the body. It's what makes you, you. As we outsource more cognition to any technology, we become less of ourselves and more of this other thing. I saw this post the other day about a lawyer noticing that junior attorneys are functionally AI rappers. They plug their work into the law AI Harvey and deliver its responses near directly to the higher-ups. A lawyer is one of the few professions where your occupation is to think. People pay you for your legal opinion. When that cognition is outsourced to the AI, where is the actual lawyer? It's not the junior associate, but it's also not the computer. It's the molded combination. But if the human isn't the one thinking, is this amalgam human or just made of human parts? This is the final cataclysm of becoming a cyborg. What happens when the upgrades overwhelm the natural? What happens when the amalgamated organism you're a part of is massive, bigger, stronger, smarter, better than human? But because of that, barely human at all. Now that you're conscious of it, now that you know you're a cyborg, you can decide your own attachments, pick and choose your preferred upgrades. In our modern world, you're forced into some, and frequently don't have a choice. You'll have to install some technology into your body. But now you can see it, and thus wrangle it the best you can. Or maybe it's not a bad thing at all. Maybe adding some of these machinic pieces would create a better organism than whoever, or whatever, you are now.